We gaan laten concentreren, hè?
Nora, you're going to have to
just
sit
think,
back a bit because you're like this. You're like right up here. Sit
think,
back a
guys,
bit so we can see you. Yeah, sit back a bit. David, that's
just
better.
make yourself mute, I think. I can't hear anything.
Kitchen.
Make yourself
Much
mute
better.
and then just speak whenever you want to speak.
Ahmad, you want me to mute? Okay, I'll just shut up in a bit. So let me just introduce you
I'm on
guys.
mute. Just make yourself mute, guys. I can hear everyone's background. So.
Oh,
We are streaming live on Facebook, just in case you weren't aware.
By the way, sorry, Alphonse just has his wisdom tooth removed, and he has some allergy reaction to it, and he just did his operation, so he can't talk. So I'm saying hi on behalf of him.
Oh, thanks for sharing that.
And now the whole world knows. Get well soon, Alphonse.
Yes. Well, let me start by apologizing to the world.
His face now is swollen like a pig.
Yeah, he loves you. He loves you too.
Can someone tell me about the background? How did you get this background in setting?
Sit be quiet.
I know this is so confusing.
only the cool guys get good backgrounds, mate.
Yeah, that looks
So
all
you're
right.
fine. You're fine.
Jamie, this is the point where you take over.
Okay, I'm very proud of my background.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for this next panel. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. It's very, very good to see all of you again. Not personally like we used to, but this is as close as we can get right now to stay safe, right? So today we have on the panel with us, as Nora already mentioned earlier, we have Ahmed from Egypt, and we have Julian from France, Pete from the UK, Dr. Matt from the USA, Darshana from Sri Lanka, Bruce from USA again, and Jeffrey from the TDI instructor trainer and rate instructor trainer. I don't have your country. It just said country.
USA.
I apologize. And last but not least, of course, the only lady that I can see right now, we have Yvonne joining us
Hi,
for the
Yvonne.
panel, and of course, the moderator of our panel, Ben. I will
Hello,
give
everyone.
it over to you, Ben.
Thanks for the intro. Thanks for the intro. So, because you've elegantly cut off most of our broadcasting time, I'll have to cut this quite short. So, we'd like to introduce public, of course, to our highly qualified tech divers, and also what they've been doing during this COVID period, and what they're going to do after the flying ban is released. So, without further ado, I was going to go with Darshana, but ladies first, Yvonne. Start with you, Yvonne. Who is Yvonne?
No pressure then.
Called Interpol about your files. And,
Yvonne's the only female here, mate. You can't mess it up, you know.
apologies to Jamie. So Yvonne, a very famous technical female diver, started on Koh Tao, yes, big curriculum, then moved to Indonesia, and after a lot of struggling, actually started her own technical diving facility. Dives, teaches rebreather, deep trimix, and so on. And welcome to have you. Give us
Thank you very much.
a short rundown of what you're doing in Bali.
What am I doing? At the moment, I'm really dry and I have not been diving for 6 weeks, which I think is the longest in the last 10 years. So what have I done? Last year, decided to start my own small technical diving business, and that all worked really well. Diving the deep reefs in Amed and Tulamben, you can sort of see that a little bit behind me. That was a picture taken earlier this year. So teaching twin set, side mount, starting to teach rebreather, and generally having a look at what we can see on these deep reefs. So it's been quite busy. It's been a bit strange these last 6 weeks, but I think everybody could say the same.
Excellent. Cool. And your center is called? Bit of self-promotion here.
Oh, Dark Horizon Diving. Sorry, I'm going to stand up and point
Dark
at
Horizon
it.
Diving. So,
Oh, come
There you
on,
go.
Pete.
first question. Let's go there. first question. What's the first thing you're gonna do when the ban is over?
I'm going to go for a dive.
Excellent.
So
Original.
I won't even travel. I will simply walk 500 meters down the track to the beach and go for a dive off the beach. It won't be deep, but it'll be on the water. So I don't know whether you guys have seen it. Bali isn't on lockdown. We have social distancing recommendations, and diving, snorkeling, any sort of activities are explicitly forbidden. So if you go for a walk on the beach, you better not be seen. There's more and more beaches being shut, so it's not, it doesn't sound tough, but it really is, especially if it's a 5-minute walk to get down to the beach, and if it would be super easy to just walk in and go for a dive. So we don't have as tough a lockdown as you have in Phuket, but we're kind of just as stranded.
Excellent. And when do you think the flights are going back to Bali?
Tomorrow, I don't know.
Next question. What's your favorite scuba toy?
My favorite
Scuba
scuba
toy.
toy is my favorite scuba toy is my rebreather. It's still, I'm still practicing, and I did manage to get it in the pool about a week ago. The pool is on the premises. I did not see any people that I don't see every day. I did not cross any lines or break any regulations. But it isn't the same if you're in a 1.80 meter pool. In fact, it's less difficult. But it kind of sort of helped a little bit, at least getting wet and confirming I still dive.
Excellent.
Yeah, so
talking about getting wet, what are your vices? Ooh, first female. Yes.
Chocolate, ice cream, more chocolate, more ice cream.
Sounds good. And most memorable dive?
It's really tough. Can I do most memorable dive per continent?
One.
Because that would make
Just
it
one.
easier.
Just one. You're gonna get 4 or 5 minutes per person.
All right. I guess sort of the first time I managed to go 200 meters, which would bring it to Thailand, and part of the Songhong cave system.
Excellent, excellent choice. And then your last one, your bucket list. If you could only do one dive, who would you choose to be your buddy? Doesn't have to be a diver.
Yeah, I know, and I'm going to go a bit weird on this one. I've kind of sort of done some reading, which I haven't had time for in ages, but there's a Belgian-French female explorer, Alexandra David-Nea, who managed to be one of the first women to get into Lhasa about nearly 100 years ago in 1924. Now, she's not a diver, but she'd be somebody that would be so interesting to talk to. So that could be the longest ever deco I ever do. It wouldn't be boring. There'd be stories to swap to fill more than one wet notes notebook, I'm pretty sure.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So I gotta move on, but how can people contact you?
People can contact me. You can find me on Facebook, either Yvonne Press or Dark Horizon Diving. You can Google that. So yeah, plenty of ways. Google my name, Google Dark Horizon Diving, and get in touch, and we can chat for the moment and maybe dive as soon as things are open again.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Yvonne from Bali. And let's go down in there. Next one, Darshana, you're on. Darshana is a famous explorer from Sri Lanka. He's been entertaining us on a yearly basis at APEX Dive Show and his explorations of wrecks in and around Sri Lanka, but recently also found some caves. So without further ado, Darshana, welcome, glad to have you. Tell me quickly about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm not a dive professional like you guys. I have a day job in a software company, pretty boring. And in addition, I've been doing diving for the last 17 years, exploring. So that's much about it. And I think I met most of you at ADEX. So.
Yes. And the first thing you're gonna do when you come out of quarantine?
Yeah, so I've been trapped at 40 days in the same place because we have a curfew going on in Sri Lanka. And the first thing I'm going to do is just walk 18 meters down the road, open water walk.
Nice, very
That's
nice,
all.
very nice. Any wrecks in any wrecks planned to explore?
Yeah,
Have you-
yeah, I will obviously, try and long tech dive the first thing I can. But that's the second thing in my list.
Okay, your favorite scuba toy?
Yeah, like Yvonne, my favorite is the Rebreathe as well. And I'm missing it. I talk to it every day, just look at it and put it back. But the second most favorite toy is the GoPro, which I really like because that enables me to bring the ocean, to the world and show people in Sri Lanka what they have around Sri Lanka as well.
Well, looking forward to seeing your pictures the next dive show. And then, what are your vices? What are your naughty things or not naughty things you like to do in your free time?
Well, I don't have any vices because I don't feel guilty about anything I do.
Okay, fair point. Fair point. Yeah. And then your most memorable dive.
Well, there's lots, but I think I would say I'll take the first memorable dive is when I found a bell of a World War I ship of Sri Lanka and managed to identify it.
Yeah,
I think that's my first memorable experience.
Yeah, remember that. Excellent, excellent. So, and if tomorrow you'd have to do one dive, who would you choose as your buddy?
I think Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. I knew somebody was going to choose Donald Trump. Yes. There will be no killings. Okay. So, well, thank you very much. And if people want to come and dive with you, is that a possibility?
Say again, Ben, I lost you there.
If people want to come and dive with you, is that a possibility?
Yeah, for sure. You can. People can look me up on Instagram. Very simple, tech diving Sri Lanka.
Excellent. Very easy. Well, thank you very much, Dashana, straight from Sri Lanka, and see you soon. Now, next on the panel is a very old friend of mine, Ahmed.
Hey, Ben.
Ahmed,
I'm here.
20 years ago, he showed up on a dive center in Hurghada I was working for, and he wanted to do his trimix course. And after his course, he asked me, what would it take to become a world record holder? And at the time, I laughed it a bit away. He says, oh, dude, you need at least 10, 20 years of deep trimix diving, at least 100 dives below 100 meters. And that is exactly what he did. And the rest, is history. Besides that, he's also been exploring a lot of stuff in Saudi, which is uncharted territory, which I hope we're going to see some stuff very soon. But Ahmed, tell me a bit about yourself. Where are you now? And what do you do in daily life?
Well, right now, as you just said, I'm the world record holder of the deepest scuba dive. Right now, I'm in Hurghada, quarantine, of course. So there is nothing much to do. The only thing I'm doing right now is just preparing of what's next. So I'm having right now, and this is what I'm working on, and this is the first thing I'm going to start just right after this quarantine is I started mapping like some shipwrecks, and then we're gonna have like some series, like about the history of these shipwrecks. For now, I'm just
is not serious.
Series, like episodes, yeah. So and that's it. Right now I'm just working out. And then I just started my company as well. About environment. The single-use plastic. So we're gonna be in parallel with my expeditional project as well.
Excellent. So what's the first thing you're gonna do when you come out of quarantine?
Just dive first. Have this pilot episode first. To send it to some people. To see if they are interested to pension with my project. Yeah, that's it.
As you can see on the T-shirt, Ahmed is actually employed by Guinness. Not by the beer, but actually by the book of records. They wanted somebody solid to go and pick out the cheaters. Yes, you should ask him about the stories that he has. Anyway, Ahmed, your favorite scuba toy?
Yeah, I just got like a new toy actually right now, sponsored. You know, well, I had a new toy. You introduced one of them to me, which is the JJ Rebreather. You know, so I have this one, and then I got sponsored. I got sponsored lately by Seacraft. You know, so they gave me one DPV. You know, like Seacraft's Ghost 1500.
Yeah, where's ours?
However, sorry.
Where's our scooters? Like I see
Your scooter.
Yeah.
Your scooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming just right after the quarantine, you know. So
Yeah.
and that's it. And then everything is on hold right now. I mean, like I didn't get it wet yet, you know. So I'm gonna wait till the quarantine finish and then I'm gonna test it out.
Excellent.
So I'm gonna use it. It's gonna be very effective actually for my expeditional project in the shipwrecks. You know, I'm gonna save gases, gonna save time, gonna everything.
Cool. What are your vices? What are your naughty things?
For
your vices.
vices.
Something that you shouldn't actually do, but you're secretly doing.
Yeah, just going out. I mean,
I'll fill it in for you. Ahmed likes a bit of suffering. You know, he goes on in the morning at 5 o'clock and then he starts running and then he swims across.
That's what I'm still doing. That.
Speedo. Yes, that's what it turns on. Okay.
Yeah.
Most memorable dive. Don't say your deepest dive.
Well, this is my deepest dive, of course. I mean, like this is the most memorable dive, you know. So, however, I mean, like I had like some few dives. I remember actually my first technical dive with you. It was in Shabro Mugamar. It was at 90 meters, you know, like on
excellent answer. Yeah.
I have to flatter you a little bit. And as well, I mean, like every new experience dive. I mean, like my first dive in Saudi as well. I mean, like that was the first time to touch it there. I mean, like every first dive in each country. It's like I consider it like memorial, you know.
Very diplomatic. And the last question already. What's your bucket list? Who would you like to have as a buddy if you could only do one more dive in your life?
One more dive in my life.
Yeah. Who would you choose as your buddy?
I mean, like this is what I'm gonna dive with. Actually, few of them. You know, like Nuno Gomez, Will Goodman.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you already died with Will Goodman, so I think Nuno Gomez is a good pick.
Well, yes.
I have to jump to the other thingy, but thank you so much for having us. Ahmed Yammer from Egypt. How can people reach you?
Well, you can just easily follow me on my social media, like Ahmed Garbu Diver, and on Instagram and Facebook as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Yeah. You take care, buddy.
Thank you, Ben.
Next, we come to Bruce. Bruce, long-term cave and wreck explorer, basically all over Southeast Asia. Originally American, but then got kicked out of the country, I believe, and he's now in hiding. But he's been entertaining us with all these stories about Philippine cave exploration, wreck exploration, and so on. Actually, doesn't need any introduction. Dives a lot of rebreathers and so on. But I'll let him tell you a bit about himself right now. Hello, Bruce.
Hey, thanks for having me. Nice to see everybody.
Before you go, I'm Bruce. I'm a nice guy.
No, I don't want to lie to everybody. Yeah, I'm originally from the States, but I've been here in Thailand for a little bit over 25 years. I just spend most of my time hunting caves and wrecks between here and the Philippines, and that's basically about all I do. During this lockdown and stuff like that, I just been mostly just spending my time just updating some manuals and coming out with putting together some new training manuals and stuff like that, and trying to get out for a run every chance I can.
Very good, very good. So, what's the first thing you're gonna do when you're allowed to come out of your quarantine?
As much as I like to go diving, but I think it'd probably going to the gym.
Going to the gym.
Yeah, they shut down the gym, so I'm out running right now. But yeah, usually down in the gym is probably a lot of my friends and stuff like that. But it's just been part of life, just going to the gym, you know, about 4 times a week.
Excellent. Your favorite scuba toy?
My new rebreather.
Which one is that?
yeah, I just got a new inspiration not long ago. Doesn't look like the same as it come out of the box, but it is new. Yeah, I'm looking forward to diving into that again. It's the last year, I'd say year and a half, I didn't do much rebreather diving, just mostly open circuit and stuff like that. But got the rebreather probably a couple, when was it? Probably back in February or something like that. But starting to do some diving and some wreck diving with it. So probably diving with the rebreather again.
Excellent. Excellent. Your vices. Do we really want to hear those? Jeff is looking away already.
I don't know, probably just exercising and stuff like that. It's just been something I've been doing all my life. I don't know. It's either out running or going to the gym. That's when I'm not diving, that's usually what I'm doing. Don't look like it, but the beach is the other place. That's you can tell that.
Where do you live, Bruce?
Not much.
No, where are you living in Thailand?
Pattaya.
Enough said. So, your most memorable dive?
I think one of my most memorable dive that I remember a lot is I was in the Philippines out in Samar. We spent 5 days in the jungle. Took like 25 porters to get us out, 25 porters to go back, and exploring a cave out there. It was quite, it was a very good trip. No one had ever been there before, and it was just a great trip. It's like these Filipino porters and stuff like that. You watch these guys, the way they work and stuff like that, but you know it's time to get scared when you see them start running in themselves and screaming and yelling when there's a big python snake going through the cave. But for that trip, that was probably one of the top on my list.
Excellent. And finally, your bucket list of your favorite dive buddy or most perfect dive buddy. Who would you like to go diving with?
Well, I thought if you were going to ask me about a wreck or something, it's always the next wreck. I got some good wreck trips I'm putting together right now. There's always some wreck. But if I was, with Brian out in the Bahamas, I believe you met. I've never met him before. Yeah, I see some of the caves he's got out there. That looks to be like it would be a good place to visit. Looks like this guy's got a lot of experience, somebody you can really learn something from.
He's a good buddy, takes good pictures as well. So
yeah, I've seen that too.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you very much. How can people reach you?
Appreciate it.
Also the trainer for Andy, I forgot. Yes, you went to the trainer for Andy. You write manuals and so on, so people can do all kinds of training with you.
Yeah, probably the easiest place is reach is just right on Facebook. That's usually how most people can contact me through there.
Excellent. Well, thank you so very much. And
thanks for having me. Nice
time for me to move on. I should see somebody's just right on top, and that is Choppers or Jeffrey Glenn. Choppers has also traveled all over the world, quite famous in Koh Tao in Thailand. He's the owner and manager of Bands Tech, dives a whole range of rebreathers, does caves, is currently busy becoming a GUE instructor. And please tell us a bit about yourself and where you are right now.
Hey everyone, hey Ben, thanks for having me guys. Nice to be here, nice to see you all. I've been back in Australia now. I moved back with my family in December after spending 20 years in Thailand, based in Koh Tao, where my technical diving and technical career started. Back here just for my daughter's schooling, but the plan was to bounce back to Asia and check on business every now and then. But due to COVID, not able to do that at the moment. So just making the most of the sunshine on the beautiful Gold Coast here.
Excellent. And of course, the question comes now. What's the first thing you're going to do when you can get out of quarantine? I know you've been surfing and getting out a lot, but...
Well, we're pretty lucky here in Queensland. We've had 0 cases the last few days. So they're actually lifting restrictions tonight. So that enables us to dive possibly tomorrow. Ooh. So I'm going out with a couple of mates on Sunday morning, just out to the road. I'm going to be in a single tank, so hopefully no one takes any photos of me and puts it up on Facebook or social media. So yeah, we're pretty blessed to be blessed either to be have
What's
that.
that? What's that, Pete? We talked about this.
Pete's at it again, is he?
I muted him. I muted him. I should also block his video from doing these things. So, what's your favorite scuba toy? I know you might have a lot.
I think, like everyone's mentioned, it's rebreathers. But at the start of this year, the new investment was a Zuex XK1 scooter. So that would have been my new favorite toy. That combined with the rebreather. Just recently did a excellent photogrammetry workshop with Dr. Matt Carter, sorry. And hopefully we're going to utilize his skills, photogrammetry skills, put on the scooter and attack those wrecks that are in the Pacific there, you know.
Excellent. Nice, nice, nice. And your vices? What are your vices?
Oh, my alter ego Chopper is retired, Ben, so I'm a good boy now. I'm a good boy now. I'm well-behaved family man, surfing in the morning, take my daughter to school, online business, bed by 8 o'clock at night.
Really, good on
Nice.
you. Good on you. Your most memorable dive?
Good question, Ben. I think every new environment I go to is memorable. Last year I was blessed to go to Sardinia and dive the caves there. Went to Malta and dived the deep wrecks with our friend Miko. But I think the one that is significant the most is the experience I had as a deep support diver for Will Goodman's dive.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. Whole experience, the training dives leading up, and ultimately Will's execution of the deep CCR dive to 300 meters. I think, Armin, you'd appreciate that. The whole experience is pretty special, and it always brings a smile on my face when I think back on those days.
Oh, we went diving with Will in the arch together with Ahmed. Everybody on deep air, everybody off their face, I think. Yeah, we already told Gideon. So, bucket list. Who do you want to as your buddy?
Well, I'm a bit of a wet rocks man as opposed to Rex, but this morning I listened to Richie Calder's presentation on the Dirty Dozen Expeditions webinar. And what a extraordinary man that is. He really sold the Britannic by relating his experiences on it. So I think if I had one last dive to do, it would be the Britannic. And who I'll do it with, probably my mates. There's nothing more than doing epic adventures with your mates. So Britannic with my boys.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. If people want to come diving you, how can they contact you?
Usual social media platforms, Facebook, Chopper Jeff on Instagram is what I'm most active on my website, GoPro Asia.
Excellent. Thanks for coming. And next on our thing is actually a bit of a mystery, but he's been very active and not new on the scene, but hidden from the limelight. It's Julien talking to us from India.
Hey.
Bonjour.
Hi.
Bon après-midi.
Hello. Well, actually, right now I'm stuck in Mexico right now. I'm not in India.
Oh, boo, so, boo, boo.
Well, I know, like someone has to do it. So,
Mexico. So, tell me a bit about yourself.
Well, so I split my time mainly between India and Mexico. So my usual yearly routine is to spend 6 months in India, 6 months in Mexico, and then a couple of projects all over the world in between. So I'd say in India, I teach mainly technical diving. In Mexico, I teach mainly cave diving. I dive rebreathers as well. And everything. But yeah, I'm involved in quite a few exploration projects here and there. Basically, I'm trying to shuttle between those two very different worlds and two very different cultures all the time. I would say I've lived in India for the past 15 years, and I've started shuttling like 6 or 7 years ago. So it's a very schizophrenic lifestyle. Yeah.
That sounds absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
So, what's the first thing you're gonna do if you come out of quarantine? Is it quarantine in Mexico? I would think so.
Yeah, so it's quarantine, but it's fairly recent. Like in the sense, the restrictions only started a couple of weeks ago. So I've been lucky enough to be able to dive until like pretty much last week. So it's not too bad,
Not fair.
Yeah, oh, I know. You know, like again, someone has to do it. You know, and so the first thing I will do after the quarantine is basically go back home because I was supposed to be back in India this week, and obviously I'm not. So I have quite a few courses lined up. So that's what I'm going to do. So the last few weeks I've been busy teaching all those courses online, basically. So every single student of mine in India, I've been teaching all the theory components online. So the past 2 weeks I've been teaching like 2 or 3 GUI fundamentals course online, the entire theory, a couple of TDI Deco Pro and Trimix courses as well. So basically the same thing we're doing right now, but using a virtual whiteboard, install a graphic tablet and so on. And so I'm doing all the academic components like this online. So that's been working fairly well. And digitalizing also a lot of the mapping projects I've been working on the past couple of months. So taking all drawings we've been doing underwater and you know, creating all the Illustrator file and mapping caves and all that kind of stuff. So it's been actually very busy recently.
Well, I hope to see some of your projects on the next dive show. We're very intrigued, and you've been very quiet about it. So
sure.
Excellent. Your favorite toy?
That's a tough one. If I say rebreather, it's not going to be very original right now because everybody's saying the same. I usually dive a JJ, but I would say, but probably my dry suit. You know, the dry suit becomes almost like your dive buddy. You know, like you go home, you hang it in the living room, you wake up at night, you think there is someone in your living room. It's your just dry suit hanging there. You know, so exactly. There you go. You've met me, you see. So basically, yeah, I dive a Santi Motion Plus at the moment. I'm quite happy with it. And I would say that's the thing that travels with me all over the world at the moment. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Your vices?
Well, as soon as I like doing something, I stop considering it a vice. So the question doesn't apply. You know?
Okay, well, these are things that might be potentially unhealthy, cost you a lot of money, get you in trouble, or legally dangerous.
Yeah, well, so technical diving, basically technical in cave diving.
Okay.
That's what it is. I think it ticks all the boxes.
Okay, most memorable dive.
It's a tricky one. Again, I would agree with Jeff on this one, which is like the first dive you do anywhere is pretty memorable. You know, when you arrive in a new environment. I like to be pushed out of my comfort zone. That's probably why I tech dive and cave dive. So I really like feeling like a beginner. You know, like when you feel very good with yourself because you dive, like you do 100 cave dives in Mexico and you're like, yeah, I totally got this. And then you go to Sardinia. I was also in Sardinia at the same time as Glenn last year, actually. And then it's a different environment. You feel like a rookie again. So I really like that sensation, you know, of going in and being like, oh, I still have so much to learn. So that's something very pleasant. So I would say the first dive I did in Sardinia last year, I was working on a paleontological project with GUE there. So basically going to do some photogrammetry and documenting prehistorical monk seal bones. So that was a very interesting one, you know, to just arrive in Sardinia, being completely jet lagged, go in the water, swim, you know, like, and do a dive, and 2 hours into the cave, finding those bones, and you feel like you're completely in a different world, you know, and that sensation of being in a world where, you know, technically you have no business being is an amazing sensation somehow.
Very cool, very cool. And on your bucket list, who would you like to take as a buddy? If you
it's a tricky one as well, but I would say I was actually rereading the Blueprint for Survival recently because I stumbled upon a German version of it because I have a couple of different versions of the Blueprint for Survival in different languages for different students. And a couple of weeks ago, I found a secondhand version of the German Blueprint for Survival. So I would say if I could do a dive with Sheikh Exley, obviously I wouldn't say no. You know?
I'll go for that. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, lovely to meet you. And how can people contact you?
So I'm not a Facebook guy at all. So basically, I prefer, you know, to dive into water than to dive into social media. So the easiest way to do it is just to send me an email, and that's simple. It's julian@technicaldivingindia.com or julian@technicaldivingmexico.com. Same thing. So yeah, simple.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
Matt, I was going to go with you, but then Pete's going to start crying, so I'm going to go with Pete first. Yeah, you know, I mean, Pete, he doesn't need any introduction. Deep Wreck Explorer actually has brought the Pacific to us on most dive shows, and his sense of humor and camaraderie are unsurpassed. Also a fantastic photographer. and happens to also dive a CCR, has seen the light in the recent days, not to kill himself anymore. So, hello, Pete. How are you doing?
Hey, mate. How's it going, Ben? Good to be here, eh? And great listening to all of these anecdotes from everybody and all these larrikins. You know, it's great to be in such good company.
Yes. So, besides hunting wrecks in the Pacific, what else do you do?
Oh, mate, you know, just like everybody else, you know, we're all mad keen divers. We're fanatics. So put your head below the surface of the water. I've just recently got into all this wet rock fiasco, and really enjoying that, you know. So getting to take some pictures in some caves. It's a new experience for me. So you know, that's been probably the biggest thing, biggest enjoyment for me over the last few months. You know,
Harder than taking wreck pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
What's the first thing when you come out of quarantine?
Well, I've been working pretty hard. I was cleaning up my garage, and I came across one of my original wetsuits when I first learned to dive. And
no,
I've got it with me. You see?
Love it. Love it.
And,
it matches your eyes.
Oh, you can't see it.
I can see it. Just hold it in front of your chest.
Yeah.
Hold
Yeah. So I'm going to try and fit into this when I get out. and obviously, the first thing I'm going to do is get in the water, you know, and do what we all are passionate about, and figure out what to do next, and just start taking some pictures again, you know.
Excellent. Your favorite scuba toy? That wetsuit?
Well, it was, but have you guys got any of the? This is my favorite guy.
Oh, I was looking at that. Oh,
yeah.
Too. Yes.
Look at that.
That's the detail is unbelievable.
A diver of me, so I could sit there going, "Hello, me. I'm going diving now." You see, so when I'm not diving, I can be diving. So that's my favorite toy.
Next part, your vices.
Oh, mate, I don't have any vices. You know, the thing is that the first thing that I like to do is get home early at night, and yeah, cheers, man. Enjoy a nice read, and just contemplate the day, you know, and think about tomorrow, and thank my lucky stars that my wife isn't going to throttle me to death, and I think that's probably going to be the first thing that happens when the restrictions are lifted. If I'm still alive, I'd love to go and head out for a dive, you know.
Excellent. What are your vices? Sorry, your most memorable dive.
Well, mate, I'll tell you what. When I heard Chopper talking about Britannic, and it had to
don't start.
memories, and I've been lucky enough to go there a few times, and it just, you know, the 6.5, 7 hour hang on the decompressions is worth every second of it, you know, and it's you know, when I close my eyes at night, that's what I see. I see that massive wreck, and all I want to do is just go and take some pictures in that engine room, but obviously we're not allowed to because of penetration rules and regulations in Greece. But I'd like to do that virtually, you know.
Is that an invite?
Yeah, Britannic, definitely Britannic.
Okay, and then the bucket list.
Oh, mate, one thing that I've really enjoyed over the years is just diving with friends, and that would be, you know, normally, you know, no one wants to dive with me, you know, like when I get my camera in my hand, he once goes, you know, would anyone like to dive? And I goes, no, we don't want to come anywhere near you. So I'd really just, you know, like to dive with mates, go on a trip, and just share some time together, and just you know, have a laugh, you know, and enjoy what's important, and that's just being together, and you know, the diving is just a bonus.
Yep, excellent. I got to notice it. I got to cut it short, but thank you so much for coming on, and people can reach you on an array of websites. Lust for Rest. What else they can reach you on?
Oh yeah, usual story. You know, all this mindless self promotion. I can't think of my website at the moment, but you know, I'm sure it'll come up somewhere.
Yes, yes, it was well prepared. Well prepared. Thanks,
Yeah,
Pete.
man.
I'll see you soon, man.
Thanks for having me here.
And finally, the last guest, it is Dr. Matt Carter, well known from his excellent presentations during all our dive shows with his good focus on Rex and conservatism and all the things that go around it. Matt, welcome. Good having you.
Thanks for having me. It's awesome. I didn't actually realize I was last, but now that I am, I'm a little bit different. I'm not a instructor or anything like that. I'm a maritime archaeologist. As Ben was saying, I'm a doctor. I've just finished my doctorate. I've been diving rebreathers since 2010. So I'm in a bit of a different situation where I get to combine the technical diving with the maritime archaeology. And I work for an organisation now where we're investigating all these World War II shipwrecks around the Asia Pacific area, which are leaking oil and are going to be a massive environmental risk in the next few years. So that's my 9 to 5. Like everyone else, really kind of had the brakes put on in the last few months, but fortunately can work more domestically, based here in Australia, Melbourne, Australia, and can work around here for a bit, but really can't wait till we can get out into the Pacific.
I think everybody joins your feelings. So what is the first thing besides diving you're going to do? Sorry, you're last.
Besides diving, there's nothing. It's going to be diving. That's it. Yeah. No, basically, one of the great things, so I'm based in Melbourne in Australia, and we've got a graveyard, a wreck graveyard, right off the, just off the kind of beach and moving into like boat dives, but everything from World War submarines right through to historic shipwrecks and anything from like 24 to 65 meters. So the idea is to build up gradually and then get out. And we've got a project planned for Bass Strait for our 80th anniversary of a World War II shipwreck coming up. So watch this space.
Beautiful. Favorite scuba toy?
I've got to follow everyone else. Rebreather, Suex scooter. But actually, my favorite toy at the moment is my photogrammetry software. Combining scooters, rebreathers, cameras to create these 3D models. That's the photogrammetry software's got to be my toy.
I have to pick your brain on that. Your vices?
More than happy.
What are your vices?
Hanging around with technical divers, drinking with technical divers, diving with technical divers, anything diving related, basically.
Good. And then what's your most memorable dive?
So I've presented a couple of 8Xs now on the M24 Japanese midget submarine. So off Sydney here in Australia, there was a midget submarine, so a 2-man submarine, pretty small. It was lost. It came and attacked Sydney Harbour, was lost until 2006 when it was found. But no one had ever done a full archaeological survey and photogrammetry kind of project. So we ran this project on it a couple of years ago. And just the sheer amount of work it took to get all the permits, get everything lined up, that when I finally got down there and swam up and it kind of came out of the darkness, I was like, this is amazing. You know, it was so memorable after all that bloody paperwork just to get on it. And you can see it. That's the submarine.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it was an awesome project. It was an Explorers Club flag expedition. So
well, nice.
Really memorable.
Excellent. Bucket list. Who would you like to dive with as a buddy, if you could?
It's a real cop-out, but basically all of you, obviously. But some of you might have seen online, we had a project plan to dive on the USS Legato. So American submarine sank 75 years ago, this on the 2nd or 3rd of May. And so we were scheduled to go dive it. Ben, Chopper, Pete was going to be involved. This was going to be an amazing project. And unfortunately, we've been, had our wings clipped, but that's where I think I want to go with this stuff. So, building that relationship and, that's where the memories come in by working on this kind of stuff with, friends and going forward for there. So if it's not the Legato, then other projects going forward with you guys.
Excellent. Thank you very much for coming. And how can people contact you?
Social media. Everyone should check out Major Projects Foundation. That's this organisation I work for, looking at these World War II wrecks. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Just find me, Matt Carter. Go from there. There you
Beautiful.
go. Yeah.
I have to get it shut. Thank you so much for coming and taking the time. All a bit last minute. I hope the viewers have all enjoyed it, and it's all recorded, so you can always watch it later on. And Jamie, it's back to you. Thank you for letting me.
Thank you so
play
much,
for a
Ben.
second.
Thank you so much to all of our panelists on this panel. Ben, you forgot something. How can people contact you?
Oh, me. Yes, that's Ben at Blue Label Diving, or Blue Label Diving on Facebook. And I'm in Thailand, Phuket, but we do a lot of cave diving, some rig diving, and lots of traveling. So please, yes, if you want some training or just fun diving, don't hesitate to contact, or any of these fantastic people you see now online.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, everybody. Someone please help Ahmed out about how to change to such a cool background like you guys. we can do that backstage, I think. So next up, we still have many panels coming up today. For those of you who are joining us on Zoom, I believe that our admin has already posted for our next panel. The link that you can register for our next panel is already up.
That's right, Jamie.
Yes. And also, if you don't want to jump from page to page, you can watch us live at edX.asia or Facebook edX as well. So we're going to be taking a quick break before we come back with our next panel on diving into the sustainable blue economy in the age of COVID-19, Asia Pacific Dive Tourism Focus. Okay, so for this webinar, is a bit weird. We're not used to it. Thank you so much. Also,
thank you guys. See you later for the party.
See you later.
Take care, everybody.
See ya.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you very
Bye.
much.